In this video demonstration, I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful sparkly background card with this gorgeous look of these sort of they're dogwood flowers, and that match perfectly with the stitched leaves and with the dogwood flower die, all from John Next Door. And this is all made using the brand new JND554 dogwood duo, and this is matches with JND550 and 551, which is our frame maker in dies at 6x4. So this is an insert for the 6x4 frame maker insert die. So let's see how this card was made. So to make this beautiful sparkly card, we're going to use the brand new JND554, which is the stunning dogwood duo, and that gives you two beautiful dies that are a duo pair of that outline dogwood. So you can see there, and these can be used in lots of different combinations, together, separately. They can be used to make an entire square or the card that we're making now. So we need to use, first of all, our two duo dies. So I've got a piece of coconut white card here, and I've cut this to 4.5 by 4.5 inches, which is just right to do this. Now these panels were designed to fit with the frame maker dies at 6x4. So you can use them with that, but you can use them on their own, and I think it's really important that dies are versatile. So the first thing to do is to take the two dies and tape them together evenly, just with some tape in the middle. Then pop them onto your square with an even border around 3 sides, because remember, this is going to be the front piece. So I just tape that down quite well, and then we run that through our die cutting machine, and you cut that. And that will give you this beautiful double panel here. What you then want to do is to take the two panels and do exactly the same. So you want to leave an even border around 3 sides and make sure that they are tied up so that they are in exactly the same place as the other two. And again, tape that down and run that through. And one of the ways I want to show you this, I'm going to bring my machine in. What you want to do is you don't want these to move. So once you're happy they're in the right place on your plates, tape them down to your plates. That will stop the dies moving. When you're doing a succession of dies, taping to the card sometimes isn't enough. So tape it to the plate and run that through, and that will stop them moving. You'll also find it's easier to do a duplication of a die in a manual machine than an electric machine. In an electric machine, you just have to be that little bit more careful to make sure that you really do tape it down quite seriously. So all we would want to do is to just pop out all of the little pieces of that. I've got a piece here that's already done, and there we go. So now I want to add the little squares of colour on either side. So first of all, I've cut in 3 shades from the lilacs pack of our canvas card. I've cut some 1-inch squares, so just 1-inch squares, perfect for using your scrap. But to adhere them, and also to get that beautiful glittery finish, you want to turn your die cut onto the front and then take a piece of our double-sided adhesive. So I'm using just a piece of our double-sided adhesive, and this has been cut to slightly smaller. So this has been cut to 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. Now I'm attaching this to the back on the sort of magic non-slip mat. If you have any other kind of mat, don't do it this way. It will stick to it. It doesn't stick to the silicone, and that's the only thing that this won't stick to. If you're doing it the other way, you want to put your die cut down onto it, and then you would just use the waste piece to burnish it into place. And then you would keep that in place and turn it over. Because I have the mat, I don't have to worry. So all I do now is to simply take away the other side of the double-sided adhesive, and then I start with my squares. So I'm taking each square at a time and just covering over one colour, and I'm going in sequence. Doesn't matter what the back looks like. It's just about what the front looks like. So I'm going along and I'm taking them in order, so in sequence of how they're done. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'll take the next colour to the first one. Because if you used 3 colours against 4, it means that the colours will rotate round, which is why we're using 3 colours. And just make sure you're carefully taking each one in order. They're not that's not the right, there we go, colour, there we go. Making sure that you're rotating them nice, and you'll see what happens is it creates your almost corner stripes. So each set of squares will have two of one particular colour. So what comes after the dark pink is the light pink. So again, if they get messed up, which mine have a little bit, just take a little bit of a minute to make sure that you're rotating them right. If you don't, it doesn't actually matter. It will look more random, but it's easier to do it this way. So after that light pink, that sort of dark lilac-y pink colour becomes a light one. A light one then has the dark, then it has the darkest, and finally we finish on another light one. So what actually happens is you end up with a piece that has four corners the same. But you can see there the beautiful colours that you have there, and you've used no card at all, literally waste scraps. But obviously what we have now, of course, is a sticky front. So this is where you want to use your glitter. So I'm just going to bring in a piece of white scrap card because I don't want to get glitter on my mat. And I'm just using, I think this is the Craft Artist or the Eyes Ink sort of clear holographic glitter. Put a little bit on and just use your finger to smooth it in to all of the places to make sure it's nicely stuck down. Just like that. And this doesn't feel like, this is so fine, it doesn't feel like glitter at all. So I just want to take that off, and then I will pop my glitter back into my pot. A tap on the top makes it all pour down and gets all the glitter out of there. We'll pop our glitter away. You'll always end up with a little bit of glitter around, but that's, you know, very little we can do about that. And there's your finished centerpiece. And I just take a little stiff brush. This is just a sort of cheap 1.5 inch or 1 inch sort of decorator's brush. And over the bin, brush the piece to get the spare glitter off so that you've got that beautiful glittery panel. So I now want to adhere this to my card. So I'm going to use some foam tape. And what I've done is I've made up a card blank. And the card blank is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is a 6x6 pre-bought card blank, and I've matted and layered this with all 3 of the colours and a square of white cut at 4 3/4. So I've gone for 4 3/4. Then the next piece out is 4 5/8, then 4 6/8, and then 4 7/8. And just to make sure we get a little bit of an 1/8 of an inch border all the way around. And we go around the outside. I'm going to put that little spare bit in the centre, just like that. And then reveal our foam tape as you would do normally. Just like this. There we go. And evenly place that in the middle of your card, and there is your beautiful background completed. Now I've got some of the matching stitched leaves that match with this and match with the dogwood. So I've got one full set cut in white to keep those colours working, and I'm just going to add those with a little bit of glue glaze. So just popping that on the bottom, and then I'm going to create myself a nice little spray of leaves here in this top right hand corner, because you want the background to be seen. You don't want the you don't want to completely cover the background, but you want to add that little floral finish to make a beautiful card. And that leaves you space then to pop your sentiment on when you decide what you want to sentiment it with. And just always make sure your leaves don't come over the outside edge of the card. So I'm going to take my 3rd leaf, and I always put, when I'm arranging flowers, I always put a sort of triangle of leaves on. And then I'm going to add my flowers using the 3D glue gel, and I've got one in each of the 3 colours made up of the large stitched dogwood, which of course matches exactly with this pattern. So everything ties in, but isn't identical. So you can see everything is designed the same. It's exactly the same petal there as we've got on those flowers. So we'll just take a little bit of our glue gel onto the back, and we'll arrange our 3 flowers on with each of those colours. Just tucking those in. I'm going to get that one under that one a little bit. There we go. And then with the last final spray of leaves, add a little bit of glue gel onto there, and I'm just going to tuck those in so that they come slightly over the flowers, because that's how leaves would grow in nature. And there we have completed a beautiful sparkly card using the JND554 dogwood panels. And just to show you, this is it done without glitter, in the same idea, but just done using 2 shades of yellow, using a clotted cream and a sort of spring yellow colour in there. So lots of different combinations and ways that you can use this to make a beautiful background. For more ideas, hints, tips and inspiration, why not visit the John Next Door official page on Facebook.